Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com, and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing. Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza DoNisi. Pizza DoNisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the Ultimate Underground Metal Tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza DoNisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza DoNisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years in keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They are open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my pyre. Oh, this is the Metal Forge. This is the Metal Forge. This is the Metal Forge. This is the Metal Forge.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. So this week I have Mr. Tucker Thomasson from the band Throne of Iron here in the Metal Forge, and those of you who got to see the Patreon exclusive video, Flamekeeper.vip, come into that and get your exclusive video. I am starting to do some more of those, and maybe, I know I said this year I'd like to try to get into doing video versions of the Metal Forge more often, and actually not making them Patreon exclusive, but actual weekly episodes and such. But we're not there yet, but we're getting there. So yeah, because I got to remember to hit the fucking record button, as I told Jason Gardner, who is here right now from the Heavy Metal Wasteland. Jason,
yes, I am here.
We're here on the Facebook Live, not necessarily live. We're on the Messenger video call. I say that like I don't know the technology, but we do this all the fucking time.
Dude, I was just telling someone today, when I record something off the TV, I still calling it taping it. So
yeah, we were talking about that the other day, where I had messaged it to you. It's like, hey, can you give me the login to the Zoom because I want to videotape this? And it's like, what? And you know, it's a product of our generations, man. That's all that this is. Hey, we still call things taping. We still hey, leave it on my answering machine.
Yeah,
which is apparently a faux pas these days. You're not supposed to leave voicemails. I don't even think you're supposed to call. You're supposed to just text or some shit.
I mean, I like text, but like it seems like the people I don't want to call me. It's like for like a 5-sentence answer that I could give them with everything they need to know. They rather just call me to get that, or not 5 sentences, a 5-word answer.
Right.
For everything they need to know, they end up calling me anyway, and it's like, dude, I just sent the answer in text message.
Hey, that's
like, no, I don't want to go.
Okay, I'm glad you specified, because you said that those 5 words keep ringing in his head. Are we having fun yet? You know, like the Nickelback song.
Oh Jesus!
I had to go deep into the well on that.
What the hell?
Yeah, I had to go deep into the back catalog there, you know, from Silver Side up.
Speaking of Nickelback, can I just can I bitch here for a minute?
Yeah, dude,
not about the band.
Is this part of your Wasteland?
Where I heard the band, I had to endure that shit in Lowe's today. I was like, my God, what the fuck is going on here? Why do I have to suffer through Nickelback while I'm waiting for this dude to come unlock the wire cage so I could buy some damn wire for tomorrow, and I'm stuck here because the supply house didn't have the wire that I needed, so I'm waiting on this guy, and then they play like Rockstar. Oh yeah, jeez, come on, what the fuck, man?
Like,
why,
really?
Why
that's
did
like
you do
in
this?
you know, that's got to be the thing that's where you've like quote made it. Because when you're on like the fucking Lowe's radio channel or the Walmart radio channel, fucking that, you know, where they're playing like fucking like Foo Fighters and all that shit, and don't get me wrong, I like Foo Fighters and everything, but like it's got to be like a big fucking, all it is like, yeah, we're gonna have our own quote like playlist radio station, and we'll buy, we'll pay you to do it, and you know, it's that whole thing. And they get a kickback, and it's played all over the Walmarts, all over the fucking wherever. You know, if they're overseas, if they have any Walmart overseas, I'm sure they have something overseas that resembles what they are.
Yeah. I heard Holy Diver in my Walmart one time.
Really?
Yep.
Like how recently?
What?
How recent?
It's probably a couple years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll never forget what I was doing either. I was in the cleaning supplies section, looking for dishwasher tabs and some kind of like spray. And I remember it vividly. It just like came on. I was like, damn. I was like, what the fuck is going on today? You know?
Yeah,
that's Friday, and it turned out that I asked one of the dudes in the electronics section, and I moseyed over there as I do every time. And he said on Fridays that the employee of the week gets to pick one song out of rotation to play, and he picked Holy Diver. Yeah,
that's
at least
great.
on my stories overhead speakers. So.
Wow, man, that's cool. Like that, I would have asked who that employee was, and I would have went and given them a recommendation.
Yeah,
say, you know what, this dude here, he was pretty cool, or she was pretty cool, or they were pretty cool. They picked Holy Diver, and you know, and I'm not a huge Dio fan, right? Like, oh, fucking blasphemy, hot take, not a Dio fan, but you know, I can respect Dio, and anybody who plays Dio in a fucking Walmart, I'll shake their hand too, and give them the fucking Maloik, the horns, and say, fuck yeah, man. Kick ass. So, what do you have this week on the Heavy Metal Wasteland, Jason?
Well, man, it's the first Wasteland of the month, so I'm trying to make this tradition and mention some shows coming up in the areas that we live in respectively.
By the day this is releasing, look at that fucking angle in the video. That is why I picked this one. By the day this is releasing, speaking of shows, Power Trip.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that one. I care less about that one. Also, we've talked about one to death, if you ask me. So,
you know, on an upcoming episode,
definite upgrade. Although I thought it was weird that they didn't move when they added Iron Maiden or Judas Priest. They didn't move him with Iron Maiden, which I thought would have been a better pairing for the night. So it should have been Priest, Maiden, and then Guns, Roses, AC/DC, and then Tool, Metallica. That would have been the way I did it.
Right.
But hence they didn't listen to me or ask me, so I guess my opinion really doesn't matter.
So where did they
put them? But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that show because I care less about that show.
Where did they put them though?
Oh, opening for AC/DC.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I mean, it works, but opening for Maiden would have been better. Pairing live.
Yeah. Opening for Maiden or Metallica would have been good.
All right, so I got a few shows this month. There's not too much going on around here worth talking about. So really, I only got two to talk about here.
Okay.
I think you know one of them, but I just wanted to bring attention. All right, so my friend Josh Schneider from Grasping Air Booking, fresh off his first successful 2-day weekend fest called Mount Doom here in Asheville, has another show here in Asheville at Fleetwood's coming up on Saturday, October 14th. A band from Puerto Rico called Moths will be playing. I believe it's their first show in Asheville, maybe even their first U.S. tour, period. Not too sure. They're going to be joined by local band Shrunken Heads with my friend Joel Rios, who is from South America, actually. Pretty cool dude. Does like a kind of like a 80s hair metal band type stuff, like just kind of like balls out rock and roll kind of thing.
Right.
Think like LA Guns or Cinderella, something like that, like mixed, you know. And then also from Richmond is Book of Worms coming down to open the show. So if you're in the area and like that kind of any of those kind of music, check that one out at Fleetwood's. And then also, you might have heard this one, I don't know, but there's this one big festival called Big Goddamn Metal Show. It's supposed to bring in like $3 million into the local economy next weekend on the 13th and 14th.
Jesus.
Because Snafu
you're gonna get me
and
sued.
Throne of Iron are coming to headline each night with other assorted openers who are all killer and no filler. So if you haven't got tickets for that one yet, go to Eventbrite and get your tickets now before the show sells out. And thank you in advance for spending your hard-earned money in the local economy and helping out bands, who are playing this fest. And of course, the promoter, Mr. Mark Jackson himself.
Thank you, Jason.
I truly appreciate it. Yeah. And to the dude who pre-ordered his tickets, man, very cool. Thank you for doing that. Hey,
Thank
man,
you.
it could be 1, 3, or 100, dude. If someone wants to take time to actually
Yes, absolutely.
take
And
it, that's fucking awesome.
And that's the thing about Louisville. Unless it's a huge band, it's pretty much a pay at the door kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's how the city's always been. Unless it's like a huge band that's coming through, or a really sought after band like somebody like a Midnight. Shout out FKR Records. We're still waiting on that. But yeah,
all in due time. Things take a while.
They do. I mean, fucking the business is slower than fucking Christmas sometimes. But goddamn, Christmas keeps getting earlier. But yeah, also I want to fucking give a shout out to a show coming up this month as well. Not just the big goddamn metal show, but what is the show that you all are playing on the 21st?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so this is called Day of Rock. It is a free all ages show at the Blue Ghost Brewery in Fletcher, behind the near the Asheville Airport. This will be our first like daytime outdoor show in like a long time. It's 6 bands, I do believe, and also Rock Academy is playing, which is young kids who are students that play covers, pertaining to the instruments they're learning on. So probably like a lot of AC/DC covers and stuff like that. So they will be opening, and then there's some other bands. Fourth Horse is a new band, like a biker rock band playing. Where Temptations Wings is playing. A band called Flashbang Mafia, I'm not familiar with, is playing. Reunited from Charlotte, legendary band called Grindhouse will be coming up for their first show, and God knows how long. I don't even know. To be honest, I didn't know about this band. I had to do a little research, and they were pretty big back in like the 90s, early 90s.
Wow.
So then there's the Abby Davis band, who has some song on Octane apparently on Sirius XM. And then one called Appalachian Renegades, who is not really rock or metal per se, but I figured I would mention him because we are using their drum set. So
Definitely.
So there you go. Yeah. So I will be denting the heads on that drum set. I play at 3:40, and we have a 40-minute set. No new songs on this performance, but come on out anyway. Bring your kids, bring your dogs. I think it's pet friendly as well.
Bring the cats too, man.
Baby cats too. Yeah, I mean, whatever you got, really. I know a guy we record with, Andy Bishop from Giraffe Studio. He takes his cats for a walk and takes pictures of his cats.
Dude, a lot of people do
shit.
that. A lot of people do that. I follow a cat on Instagram called Choopy. And
just a cat on Instagram?
Yeah. And, well, it's with his owner. And Choopy don't give a meow, right? That's the shout out at Choopy don't give a meow. It's really cool because the little bastard loves French fries. And he like chews the shit. It's so fucking awesome to watch. But, hey, we're fucking getting a little going here, and I want to fucking listen to some D&D fucking power metal. Jason, have you ever played D&D ever?
Funny you mention that. I didn't have any friends, really, just bandmates, in the area that would play it. I had a D&D set. I thought I got it for Christmas one year. I just decided to play it by myself. That didn't last very long because it was super boring and super complicated. But funny you mentioned D&D, because now I am playing Baldur's Gate 3, which is a officially licensed D&D video game.
Right.
So I am deep into that. My character's name is Grimace. I am a purple drow. And I am just out there with my my band of complainers and other people who just wreaking havoc in goblin camps and other assorted places. And to the gnome that I slung off the windmill, I'm not sorry. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, you told me about this game a while back, so I'm definitely going to have to get into more gaming and shit like that. But
yeah, man, it's a blast. I'll tell you, it's hard to really focus on what's important when shit's that awesome. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's what I've always loved about just like even tabletop D&D is if you have a great DM or storyteller based on whatever gaming system you play through, if they are fucking worth their weight in gold, you have one of the greatest fucking experiences ever because it's so easily visual.
Yeah.
It's so fucking awesome. So, I don't know if you've actually...
I always had a idea for a video for the song Warlords to go and film people playing Dungeons and Dragons and just like tie it into the song. Like just people playing, like getting excited and stuff like that. Like people throwing down their cards and stuff, you know. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Dude, why not? We could film that the next time you're up here.
Good.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
It'll be a Flamekeeper exclusive. But I don't know if you've actually got to listen to any Throne of Iron, so we're going to listen to some today. I'm going to hold you against your fucking will because here it comes. This is from Throne of Iron's Adventure 1 album. This is The Power of Will. is going on, metalheads? And this week, wow, you know, this is a rarity because I think by the time we're recording this, I haven't actually made the hype post yet. because I'm that guy who is just like, I'm going to sit there and do like the hype post once I know it's ready to go, that I have a recording, because I hate, like, I got burned one time in the past. But anyways, our guest on a special Reforged episode is Mr. Tucker Thomasson from Throne of Iron. Dude.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course, man. Like, it's always nice to have a fellow, I don't like the word Hoosier. So
I don't mind Hoosier, but what's really funny is that all my buddies from Missouri, like, Hoosier is a pejorative over there. Like, it's a word they use as like an insult. Like, Hoosier is a word that they use for somebody who's a fucking idiot in Missouri. So I love hearing it get tossed around, because it's just like, well, yeah.
Dude, that's gotta be rough, living in a place where, you know, if you're like that, like where you're affectionately referred to as something because of it's like, yeah, you know, whatever it is, you know, the Hoosiers.
I just wonder how many like annoying interactions with people from Indiana had to happen
before that happened.
Yeah, to make people from Missouri use our state identity as a pejorative.
Right. I'm gonna say the over under is 1.
Okay. I think that tracks.
I think it does. Dude, so Throne of Iron, Reforged episode. It's been a while since you've been on. It's been since 2020.
It has been. Yeah.
You had come on the episode, I believe you were the first episode when I switched from the SoundCloud people to the Anchor people, now Spotify people. And so what I always remember about that is like, hey, you know, Tucker saved me $20 a month. Because it was just like
my Midwestern pride dictates that I have to try to save anyone some money. Like, I have to be proud of how little I spent on something, and I think I'd like to extend that out to the people around me as well.
You know, that's so funny that you mentioned that, because before so we're derailing already here. So, but the funny thing is like, I recently just got that feeling, you know, living in, you know, I bought a house for the first time a couple of years ago, instead of renting and shit like that. So I sat there and I was just like, oh man, you know, everybody knows how fucking awful the economic times are and everything else right now. But like, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, holy shit, this shows this being on sale. And then it wasn't when I got up there, but I was like, well, the tag said this, if it's not, whatever. But then it's like, she rang it up and still rung up an extra discount. So I was like, yeah, man. And it totally was great. And it totally made my Midwestern pride stand out about save. And like the memes or the videos of the guy going into the auto parts store being like, y'all test batteries, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
I think it extends to people who like thrift here too.
Oh yes.
It's not even like thrifting as like what it's become in the last like 10 years. Like that was just school shopping when I was a kid. It was always how can I get away with spending as little money as possible? Right.
You know, that's those things are like, if you live in like a rural area, you know, they have things like the back to school bash things where it's like,
yeah,
you know, and that's a great thing to have. And you know, I was in a metal band.
You've been across the street from my house. You know where I live.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I have. And it's so cool to know that and to see that like the studio where the rest of the band got to record, the band meaning Ice Howl, and not me.
You'll be down here in time, I'm sure of it.
Oh yes, we've definitely talked about that, Jason and I have. So and I like to throw on the videos here also, like on the Patreon exclusive videos. I like to do that too, where I throw in like other bands' music videos on the master cut, so they get a little bit of a listen as well.
Yeah.
So, how's Throne of Iron been, dude? Last time we were here, we were talking about Adventure 1. Now, Adventure 2's around the corner, right?
Yes. So Adventure 1 didn't quite get the release that I feel like it deserved because of everything that's happened over the last 3 years. Like the travel ban came down an hour after we took off from New York to go play Up the Hammers Festival in Greece, which was supposed to be the album release show because our label, No Remorse, is also based out of Athens. So we just we weren't planning on letting low. The initial plan was to just try to record and release as much material as we could, but then life just got in the way, day jobs got in the way. And what ended up happening was now we're here 3 years down the road when we were supposed to have an album out much earlier, but thankfully No Remorse are being pretty cool about it. I think that they understand the pandemic took a lot out of us. So they've been very cool about how long it's taken us to get this record done and to them. But I mean, we've been gigging a hell of a lot more. Last year we played Legions of Metal Fest, and we played Mad with Power in Chicago and in Madison, Wisconsin, respectively. And we played Stormbringer Fest in July this year. We played with Satan last night, which I don't know the last time that they played in the U.S. I truly don't. I have no idea. They're on tour with Venom Inc. right now, and we happen to get asked to play with them in Indianapolis on one of their like 3 or 4 like solo nights where they're solo headliner nights when like Venom Inc. wanted a night off, but Satan was just like, well, we want to play a gig tonight. So we opened for them last night, and that was an awesome experience.
Yeah, I've seen some video from it already, and it looked amazing. And, you know, Satan is always a rad band anyways, and I just, you know, they did go on tour here a few months back with Haunt and Night Demon in the U.S.
You're right.
That was when they did Hell's Heroes and all that. And I do believe, did they not just also play Randy's Fest, Blades of Steel?
Yes, in Madison.
Yes. At, oh gosh, I can't remember the club this year.
I don't know how I spaced them touring with Haunt. Like, that was like the talk of the town for a while there. But I mean, before that, I really don't know when the last time they were in the States was.
Right. And I don't either. I know it was, I really want to say it was pre-pandemic, if that. Yeah. If that, because I know they've been doing some things for a while, but I think they really hit their another resurgence with the pandemic, which a lot of bands did, it seemed like.
Them getting that Metal Blade deal.
Yes.
Yeah, because Metal Blade picked them back up. And it's
absolutely. And that's rad as hell, because, you know, to be in your, you know, even the dudes in Venom Inc., to be in your 60s doing this stuff and still doing it today.
Early 70s, some of them. My God, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is incredible.
And for love of the game, you know, like Witchfind coming back around is great to see. And, you know, shout out to Andro, because he's a rad fucking dude. And just, you know, I'd love for them to tour the US.
I think it's great. I mean, I have to wonder, I was thinking about this today, like how much of this whole like new wave of traditional heavy metal, like how much of that do you think it is playing a part in a lot of these like NWBHM bands coming back?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I think it just makes it, you know, it makes it so they know that people care.
Right. Oh no, absolutely it is. And I think it's to the degree of just sitting there and finding a tape that was your cousin's at this point, let's just, you know, or your brother's or a sibling, and listening to it, and then being like, you know, 20 years or 30 years later, it's like, whatever happened to these guys, especially with the advent of the internet and just being able to find so many people and to just be connected with everybody.
And like Randy released like that 1-2 song EP that made the internet blow the fuck up in like 2018 and 2019.
Right.
And like, and then No Remorse, I think No Remorse put out that compilation that was like a full length like run of compilation of like a bunch of unreleased material that Randy had. And it's just these bands that had been forgotten for like 40 years are just suddenly like,
Or right
no,
there
this was
again.
always good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I will give a prime example of a great band who has been nonstop pretty much the entire time is Raven.
Yes. Yeah. Raven never really stopped.
Yeah, Raven never really did stop. But like, of course they had their slow periods and stuff like that, like everybody does. You know, we all get injured, we all have to take time off, we all have to do stuff like that just for our own mental well-being and physical well-being as well. You know, and to sit there and to have them, you know, 30 and 40 years later and talking on the Metal Forge, it's like so cool to me. It's like, fuck, man. It's like, I remember listening to like All for One and being like 12 years old, and here I am 40, and it's like, hey man, do you want to do a podcast? Which is why, you know, I'm here with you. Back on Adventure 2, because we did talk about the Satan thing, which I heard again, like I said, was a rad fucking show. And you all are also, by the time this drops, will be, you will have a show tomorrow in Fort Wayne.
Oh, Lafayette.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Lafayette.
Other end of Indiana.
Yeah. North of Indy, not northeast of Indy.
It's northwest of Indy.
Northwest, yeah. It's so weird. This state is so weird.
Yeah.
It's about an hour northwest, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be in Lafayette with our friends Mound Builders. Mound Builders have been buddies of mine since Jacob and I's days in our old band, Thorax. Like, we played with Mound Builders, I don't even know how many fucking times. And we love playing with them now. And Stonecutters is coming up from Louisville.
Which is my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Brian. They just had an album release.
Yep.
Back in September, and if you listen to last week's episode of the Metal Forge, you will get to hear us talk about it, because in our album series that was one of my picks. Again, and you shouted out to Dustin earlier. That was the other pick of mine as well. Flesher's new album.
Yeah. Expect to see us at a Metal Monday.
Of course.
Yeah. Expect to see us at a Metal Monday at Highlands Tap Room before long.
Now, are we hoping that's going to be before the end of the year?
Most likely not. It'll probably be next year.
Okay. You know, I promote everybody's shows on here, but like, I know I might like talk about everybody else's shows, but I'm fucking horrible about actually promoting the fucking big goddamn metal show. Yeah, we might talk about it from time to time, but let me tell you, it is 2 nights, 2 venues, Friday the 13th, Saturday the 14th of October. Friday the 13th is at 21st in Germantown with Halfcaster, Rifle, Kill the Crown, Storm Toker, Eulogy in Blood, and their first appearance in Kentucky, Throne of Iron. And then on Saturday the 14th at the Mag Bar, is night 2 of the big goddamn metal show with Mothrog, Promise of Plague, Misery Machina, Kerr, Baptize, Overload, and Detroit's own Snafu. So you all want to be there. It's $15 a night, $25 for the weekend in the fucking Forge Pass. Get your asses out there to the big goddamn metal show. Okay, so we're gonna try and stay on the point here. I'm firing on all cylinders, and the synapses I've been stage building. So Adventure 2, you said that No Remorse has been pretty cool with you, that it's taken a little bit longer because of everything, you know, with Adventure 1 and personal lives and everything.
Yeah.
That's
they've
rad.
Been incredibly patient with us.
See, that's rad because, you know, it is metal. And I heard this band from a pretty big label. I won't mention any names, but it's like I heard it and I listened to a song and the point that it brought up to me, that like the feeling that it conjured, it was like, I could totally see why this label picked this band up, was so bands like the thrash bands that are on the label can still write records.
Right.
And, you know, just like, that's what I love about the independent label scene. Because, again, that was a bigger label. Granted, it's a metal label, but still, it's not a No Remorse. It's not a label like those. Who have a very good reach. Don't get me wrong, but they're not going to be carried in Walmarts and Targets, and
they're not. It's not Nuclear Blast. It's not Century Media. It's not Metal Blade. The phrase that I've always heard tossed around for labels like No Remorse, Cruz del Sur, Shadow Kingdom are tastemaker labels. Like they have enough underground credibility that people feel like they're on the cutting edge,
right,
of what's happening in these genres, but they have enough reach that a lot of people, if a band puts out a release on No Remorse, a lot of people are going to fucking listen to it. They're going to hear it, they're going to know it exists, and they're probably going to go and listen to it because they know that there's that baseline that you have to be at least this good, whatever that means, to be on No Remorse, more or less. Right. It's kind of like they're doing quality control for you. That's how I've always tried to explain it to people.
And you're right. And that's when, you know, No Remorse then turns around and recommends just say I'm going to say Bewitcher, just because they're on Century Media now. You know, and you know, that's how that happens. It's like, okay, well, you know, you've kind of outgrown what we can do. You need to be to the next step, which is going to be still a major company. Let's not say that it's not, but it's still
by no means.
I'm sorry.
No, by no means. Like, as an aside, No Remorse was the only label I wanted to be on.
Right.
I don't know if I've ever told you that.
Yes,
I don't know if I've ever said
and
that.
I do recall that from the first interview.
Yeah. I like, they were the only label that I wanted to work with, and they were also the only ones to try to get a hold of us.
Nice.
Which it worked out perfectly fine.
And sometimes that's how that works, because I mean, I've seen people be on labels like No Remorse and Shadow Kingdom and stuff, but then going into business for themselves and doing that successfully is really fucking cool too. Especially when you bring in other bands that you want to work with and stuff like that. And I think a big person that has done that is Trevor Church.
Yeah.
You know,
with Church Recordings.
Yeah, with Church Recordings and Saber, with those guys and Oath, and some pretty cool stuff has been released through that.
I have a kinship with Oath, because that guy and I both started doing our thing at the same time as like a solo thing, and then watching him put together a live lineup has been really, really cool.
You know, that's absolutely, yes. I'm gonna go with you on that, because Steven is a great dude. And seeing him actually playing shows is great to me as well. And this relates to Jason Roach in Icehowl, because I heard after the fact, but last year when he was on the show, I was like, dude, are you ever going to put anything together again or whatever? And he's like, well, I really just don't feel like it. And then he got the bug to do it right after that. And I was just like, okay, cool. It's like, oh, who's going to be there? Who's going to be in? It's like, dude, you need a bass player? I'll play bass.
Yeah.
And then when he posted the picture, I had heard after the fact that Trevor was like, is that Mark? I'm like, yes. Like, what? So
it's fun. I was the first bass player in Icehowl, and you're the current bass player.
Yeah, wow, that is true.
Yeah.
as he's mixing the tracks, silently judging the bass lines. I would have done this. No. No, I know that. So I'm going to go ahead and segue over here because there is another reason why you're here, and it is because you guys are headlining, and I say you guys, pronouns, pal, as Vince McMahon would have said years ago. I'm a wrestling nerd here. Or anybody who listens to any wrestling podcast, you've heard that before. The Big Goddamn Metal Show, Night 1, Friday the 13th. Headlined by Throne of Iron, then Eulogy in Blood, Storm Toker from Lexington, Rifle, Kill the Crown, and Halfcaster. I'm excited, dude. Friday the 13th, your first time in Louisville as, with Throne of Iron.
Yeah.
And it's at 21st in Germantown, which is a good venue. I like it. It's got a tall stage.
I stalked it a little bit. That's a very nice looking spot you got there.
I dig it. And dude, how are you up? Are you feeling it? Are you feeling fucking?
Oh, absolutely. I relish any time I get to go to Kentucky because like my mom's side of the family are all from there, so. They're all from like way eastern Kentucky though, but I even just going across the river to Louisville, it's a good time every time. I'm trying to think the last time that I was in a band that played in Louisville. I think it was in like 2017.
Oh wow!
So
6 years
been
ago.
A while,
and you probably played the Mag Bar or the Tap Room, or
it was in Mag Bar. It was like right after they actually built the stage in Mag Bar.
Oh wow! Yeah, hell yeah. So it was, you said right after?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you should have played it before.
I never played a show at Magbar before the stage, but I got to see at least one show at Magbar before the stage. It was Cult Leader was headlining on their first US tour.
Nice.
And it was a lot of people crammed in that tiny ass room.
And that's when
they played on the floor like you did back then.
Yes, we played on the floor there, and there were people walking out back to smoke through the bands.
Yeah,
and there were arcade machines on that side of the room. Yeah, the arcade machines
all line up on the back wall.
Yeah, and it was just like, ugh. It's like, what the fuck? And it's just such a weird place to play back then. Yeah. And now it's like the Magnolia Dome. And it's been even updated since you've played there.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
And it's great. And so the Big Goddamn Metal Show, 2 nights, 2 venues, Throne of Iron headlining night 1, Friday the 13th. How is that? Are you superstitious at all?
Oh, not even a little bit. I think that I've been involved in heavy metal culture for long enough that, I mean, Friday the 13th doesn't even like phase me anymore. I mean, everybody does tattoo deals on that now. So yeah. It's just part of the culture at this point. I'm excited. The only other band on that lineup that I've seen is Storm Toker. I got to see Storm Toker on a Metal Monday with friends of ours from Montana, Wizard.
Hell yeah. And I think you'll dig everybody on that night.
For sure.
And it's such an eclectic lineup because as you call Throne of Iron, define Throne of Iron again.
Dungeon crawling heavy metal. That's the short tag. But my other descriptor that I've been using as of late is 3 pizza delivery drivers who took too much Benadryl.
That's great. I like it. So dungeon crawling heavy metal. Hell yeah.
3 pizza delivery drivers and a demon trapped in a suitcase.
Yes. And dude, that needs to be an ongoing YouTube video series.
I think he needs. We speak of our non-corporeal formed, our corporeal challenged. Bass player Arzab of the Howling Abyss. Currently, he's our bass player, and he lives in an old Samsonite suitcase from the '60s.
Yes, and he actually has his name on it too. Is he actually here tonight?
I have to go get him. He's in his isolation chamber.
Okay,
right
yeah,
now.
we'll leave him be because he'll probably be pissed. And I know when he's in the isolation chamber, that's the only time that he actually comes out of the case.
I mean, we have to summon him at the beginning of every set.
Well, yeah,
It's like
there is that
thing.
because he does lay down a fat track.
Yeah,
which is awesome, and I love that because I'm a bass player. I hope to meet him someday.
He also does backing vocals by using the voices of Damned Souls.
I did not actually know that, but I am.
He's a very talented guy.
I can, yes, for sure. And that's really the only reason why I booked you guys on the show is because I was really hoping to like meet him, but I don't think it's going to happen. No. No, I booked you guys because you're fucking
social
awesome.
Sometimes.
Because you're fucking you guys are fucking awesome, seriously. And as much as it like I don't like to compare, I do look at you guys like a modern day Maiden to a degree.
I'm not the air raid siren Bruce Dickinson over here. I
no, but like the power metal-esque feature to it. And maybe it's the dungeon crawl aspect. It makes me harken back for those days of like when I first discovered like shit like Highlander.
Right. I mean, I've said it a bunch of times that this band, the seeds for this band were planted when I was like 13 or 14. There was just a weird time when I was a really early teenager where I was watching the Saturday morning metal block on VH1 Classic that was all like Wasp and like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest music videos. But I also had my cousin's old first edition Dungeons and Dragons manuals out in front of me too. So it was kind of those two things fusing together into one, I don't even know, one, I guess, entity. And it was this band is me attempting to capture that feeling that I had back then and try to share that with other people, as well as kind of channeling my just general Midwest sensibilities, because I mean this whole thing started in the Midwest. Like Dungeons and Dragons got its root in Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And what we call like one of the most influential bands in what we call epic heavy metal. I mean, that's Manila Road. They're from fucking Kansas,
right?
Like the Midwest is incredibly important for this whole thing. And my goal with Throne of Iron is to try to embody all of that as well as I possibly can.
Absolutely, and dude, I think that's rad as shit because it really is a lifestyle.
Yeah, shit's really different here. And I'm reminded of that anytime I go anywhere outside of the Midwest. Like if I go like to either the coasts or even like if I leave the country, like, or even just interacting with people from other countries, it's like, fuck, we're weird. We have something different going on here. For sure.
And, I think, there's a lot of people. That's a thing. Okay. What I'm doing right now is a somewhat of a Midwest thing where it's like I'm doing it as I'm trying to explain. It's you explain as you explain.
Yeah.
That is a thing here.
It's almost like we have like societally ingrained social anxiety where we don't want to be misconstrued. Yeah.
Right.
There's also this phenomenon that I call the Midwest goodbye, and you might know what I'm talking about, where you're at like a gathering at like a buddy's house or something.
Okay.
And you're just kind of like, oh, well, I guess it's time to go. And then like you just kind of start creeping towards the door, and you keep having a little small talk as you're going towards the door for the next like fucking half hour.
Yes. Yes,
yeah,
I know the Midwest goodbye.
Midwest goodbye.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. Or another thing that people say here is be careful.
Yeah.
That's and that like anybody that's not from here and you say that to them, they immediately are like, what?
Of what?
Yeah, be careful of what? Are you going to try something? Or That's always an interesting thing to me as well. It's like, hey, see you later. Yeah, be careful.
Yeah.
Or, you know is a big one here.
Yeah.
Hey, you know.
Well,
you know.
Yeah.
That even goes down into like Tennessee.
Yes, it does.
And because they're real, well, you know, that's how they do it. Yeah. Talking about Midwestern, what is, there's a friend of mine that, I think he calls it Midwesternism.
Midwesternisms.
Yeah.
Ty Christian from Lords of the Trident, like, my God, that man and I have spent hours dissecting all of this because he's from Wisconsin. Like they're
even different because they're, Wisconsin is Eastern Minnesotans.
Yeah, and
there's a lot of bastardization of that, of the Minnesota. Hey, are you in Minnesota? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah,
that's interesting. And maybe there could be like a Bob and Doug McKenzie band.
Yeah.
It kind of like the, what is the, oh shit, I can't remember their name. It has slipped my mind. The Ned Flanders.
Oakley Dokley.
Oakley Dokley, yes. Why did I forget that? Must be high. I don't know. So, are you all gonna... What's the set going to be like? Do you all do like a specific idea, or do you wing it each time? How do you all do that?
It's just, if we think ahead for it, I mean, really, it depends on like how strict the time frame is. We're very good about playing more like exactly the same tempo as our recorded material, so we can actually just like make a Spotify playlist of the set list and like have it like timed out so we know more or less how long the set's going to be.
Okay.
Barring like stage banter and just bullshitting.
Right.
So, I mean, it really depends on like what the allotted set length is. We try to not play too long. 40 minutes is about the sweet spot for us. 45 if we're feeling squirrely. But I mean, the last few shows that we've done and fest appearances, I mean, it's been very strict of like half hour.
Right.
Like, well, okay, then we play half hour, and we like that. We try to not overstay our welcome.
Definitely. I definitely know with you all headlining Friday night that you definitely have the longest set time of anybody.
And even then, we're going to try to not overstay our welcome too much. We might throw a few goodies in there. We might throw a song or two that we, either don't play that much, or maybe we might play something we've never played live. Because we do have we have quite a few of those. We have a lot of songs that we've not played live.
Right. And that's also too because you do take the time and be meticulous to how you want to perform each year and how and where you want to go. You don't just jump on anything.
No, we turn down more bills than we play. And it makes me like, I worry sometimes that I come off like a fucking dick for doing it, but we are all so damn busy. Like I have my day job that I work 50 something hours a week at. Along with that, I'm running the studio down here, so I'm working on our music, I'm working on other people's music, I'm writing new stuff. I mean, I help out my father-in-law with his YouTube channel every now and then.
Right.
Because my father-in-law has a YouTube channel where he works on little Toyota trucks. Jacob, our drummer, he just really likes his alone time a lot. He values his time to himself quite a bit. He works a factory job quite a lot. And Corwin, the other guitar player, he just works constantly. Right. He's a video editor, and he does filming, and he also just does actual forge work for the I'm not sure if I should even say the channel. Path of Fire is the YouTube channel. Okay. And she just passed 400,000 subscribers, so he works for her.
Wow, that's awesome, and man.
He works a lot, and I admire the shit out of him for what he does.
Dude, that is awesome because, hey,
like he spends 8 hours a day on a bench grinder.
Wow.
sometimes. Yeah, and then if he's not holding a camera, he's on a bench grinder and he's actually doing actual forge work.
Nice. And see, that's the thing too, is like I would love to get into that stuff like on an actual level, but like having the space, the workspace to do that is not feasible for a lot of people.
But like, yeah, all these time commitments, that's why we end up having to turn down more shows than I'd personally like to, but you really can't say yes to everything. And it's I feel very privileged to be in a position like that with a band where we don't feel the need to take everything that's offered to us, but at the same time, like I don't like making people feel bad or like whatever.
Right. And I think that's a Midwest.
I almost never say flat out no. I'm always just like, could we try something like 3 or 4 months from now, or like further out, or next year even. Like we got offered a fest appearance that we straight up we wanted to do. There was no fucking way in hell that we could have like made it through our other obligations, then hopped on a flight and then gotten over, because it was supposed to be in LA, and we had to turn that down. But it wasn't just straight up no, it was, can we try for next year?
Because it does take a lot of planning, of course. And you can't just say, okay, hey, we're going to do this in 2 weeks. What? No, you can't do that. For sure.
And we're all adults. I mean, 2 of us are fucking homeowners. So I mean, it's just a constant. You have priorities.
Right. And again, and I think that's another like a Midwesternism thing that we were talking about a minute ago was, feeling like you're coming off as a dick, turning something down.
Oh, I worry about it constantly.
Yeah, and I do as well. And I think a lot of us feel that way with, even if it's just turning down plans with people sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, did I come off like a dick? I think that's a thing here.
Yes.
So what else are you looking forward to for the rest of the year?
I mean, the rest of the year is going to be more or less devoted to finishing the album. We do have a show coming up in November with More in the Light, who you guys have that 4-way split with. We're playing with More in the Light in Cleveland. I'm very much looking forward to that. I haven't seen Dwayne since Stormbringer.
Definitely. That's rad because, I mean, they do so much as well with organizing that 4-way split. And just even, the ties in with Stormbringer and everything.
Dwayne and Kyle basically doing like drum teching and backlining for stage managing for Stormbringer was a huge boost.
Absolutely. And that's one of my hopefuls for next year for Overload, actually.
Yeah.
So, because we are hoping to plan a nice run in mid-July next year, which will be fun because
absolutely,
doing the thing, taking like 11 days. That's a lot. But dude,
we couldn't manage that. We had to just drive straight out and play and drive straight back. It was just, again, all those obligations piled up.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a thing. But I want to go ahead and switch over here. It's the random questions. It's called Derailed. There are 5 random questions, and I did this and I wasn't even thinking. So we're gonna ask some random questions and see what you're doing, because these are different from the last time that you were here.
Okay.
Does your name have a special meaning behind it?
So the band name or my name?
Yours personally.
My personal name. So my first name is actually because my mom was really inspired by the story of Preston Thomas Tucker, who designed the Tucker Torpedo, which was a car that was very short-lived. I think there were 48 of them made. There's actually a really good movie starring Jeff Bridges called Tucker, A Man in His Dream.
Yes.
I think it was the first commercially available car with seatbelts. But he was just a really visionary engineer that was kind of trying to turn the audio industry on its head, and got strong-armed out of it by the big 3 auto manufacturers out of Detroit. It's a very cool story.
It is. I've seen that film. I like it.
If you're into history, yeah.
What is one thing that if you never got to experience it, would piss you off that you want to do?
As far as band stuff, I mean, I'd really like to play Keep It True. I think the idea of playing in a community center gym, the vibes are there. It's wood paneled as fuck.
Right, but the stage presence is great.
Yeah, it's incredible. The presentation's really Oliver keeping that fest going, especially as long as I have. Keeping festivals going is fucking hard work, man.
Absolutely, and I'm just now getting into it.
No doubt that there's been points where I'm sure that Oliver has thought about quitting. As for me personally, I mean, I'd really just like to travel more, like in America and also in other countries. I'd really like to take the wife and go to Japan at some point.
Right, and I'm going to do this because shout outs to Corey Parks, who is out there now.
Yeah, C Parks.
Yeah. Oh. He's posting. I'm watching him on the Facebooks, and I'm like, dude, it's fucking Mount Fuji. Yep. And it's like, this Indiana dude is there right now.
Yeah,
and it's so cool. So, what is one vintage item that you absolutely love?
My monster manual.
Nice.
Yeah, this was my monster manual. That was my my cousin's. Yeah, has his name. Doug Biggs, Christmas '83.
Wow.
Yeah, and I will never, ever, 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 ever part with it.
Absolutely. So, does that book predate you?
Oh yeah, I wasn't born until 1991.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Christmas '83, 1991.
Holy shit! That's one thing that I didn't know that about you. I didn't know you were born in the '90s. That's cool.
Yep.
Because
I'm 32.
Wow, because you seem like, I don't know, you carry yourself as like an older person, and it's pretty cool. Whatever that means, like, I know what you mean.
All the old guys at my bar gig that I work at think I'm like 25.
Oh my gosh, really? Yeah. That's crazy.
They think I'm way younger than I am.
So yeah, that book. When he got that in '83, I was about 8 months old.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow.
He in '83, I think he would have been like 12 or 13.
So yeah, the Stranger Things generation is definitely him.
Yeah,
for sure,
100%. I think I saved them somewhere. They're not in the book anymore, but I actually had like character sheets that he and his friends made when they were in like middle school.
Oh wow!
I think I probably have them like in a box somewhere.
That's cool. See, I still have a lot of my old character sheets, and I haven't played in years. On D&D, really fast, and we're going to tangent this, and it's,
sure.
What is your preferred go-to? Do you like all of them? Do you repeat play any? Do you exclusively play, like, 3.5?
So, I started on 3.5. I own books these are from first generation. Mm-hmm. I own those books since I was like a little kid, but I started playing in 3.5 and I really liked 3.5. 4 was weird. I think 4 was Wizards trying to kind of cope with World of Warcraft becoming a thing.
Right.
In whatever way that they felt like they needed to. I like 5. I think that 5 is a good place to start, but honestly anymore I don't even play like traditional Wizards of the Coasts or like TSR settings. I really like Dungeon Crawl Classics from Goodman Games. It's kind of a riff on first edition with some second edition elements thrown in there with kind of an emphasis on critical thinking. I like Old School Essentials a lot. It's a more like streamlined take on basic expert D&D instead of advanced D&D.
Right.
What I would really like to do is be able to introduce tabletop gaming to another generation, because I don't have kids of my own. So my thought of giving back is like setting up a quick play, like mini campaign for like Old School Essentials, because it's basic expert D&D. It's pretty quick to get started and going.
Right.
And have that set up like once a week at the library or something like that. And I just DM it. That's the idea I've had for a little bit here. I really like that. There's a Swedish system called Morkborg, which is like super grimdark fantasy setting. It's like straight up like everything is diseased, the world is dying. It's like Dark Souls 3 in a tabletop. It's very cool. Before my last gaming group kind of not disintegrated, disintegrated. I'd like to think that we're on a temporary hiatus,
right?
Because life picked up. Before we parted ways, we were going to start a Morkborg campaign, and I was really looking forward to it, but then things just didn't pan out. But hopefully someday.
Definitely. Holy shit, man, that's awesome. So I have one more question, but before
Worldwide Wrestling. Worldwide Wrestling is another game that I have yet to play. It's tabletop gaming where you are a wrestler.
Yes.
Instead of character classes, you have the different like archetypal types of wrestlers.
Yeah, like face and heel and like
you face, you heel, you have I can't even remember what all the fucking classes are at this point.
That's great. There was a Masters of the Universe role play also.
Nice.
And it's just like, I think it was kind of like a choose your own adventure style where they had like the Beast Man, little cardboard cutout. And you had like Beast Man's card of attributes already made up kind of thing. So I do know that they had that, and I'm a huge Masters of the Universe fan. So, anyways, I do have links below. So please give a like, a share, and a follow, and go buy merch. Go see these guys in Lafayette. Come see them at the big goddamn metal show, and anywhere else they're going to be.
Cleveland in November, and I'm thinking ahead. We're playing an after party for Adepticon in Chicago area in March with the Goth Rockers, the best band in the universe. They're Warhammer themed.
Nice. Dude, that's rad. But yeah, go buy merch. Go support these dudes in any way you can. Tucker, any shout outs today?
I'd like to give a shout out to Curseblade. Curseblade were the other local band on our bill with Satan last night, and they put on a great show. I'm really hoping that I can get to record some material for them soon. They provided backline for the whole night, so the show could run really, really smoothly. And fucking love those guys.
Yes, that is a great thing to do. Shout out to Curseblade as well, because of, hey, I'm not going to be that professional. Everybody's going to throw and go their shit, I guess. So, at the big goddamn metal show, it's how it is. Didn't think that far ahead, because I know how musicians are.
It happens.
It does. So here it is. The last question of the day is, you're standing there, it's the Mean Joe Green moment. You've got the jersey over the shoulder and the kid standing there. What's the advice you give him?
Don't be afraid to come back to something. Because I'm in the band that I should have been, that I wanted to be in when I was 14, but the time just wasn't right.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I agree with that. Because the bands that form the stuff that you want to do are always the bands that you come back to also. For me, it's Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if I don't listen to anything that they do for a year or two, but I always go back to it. And it's just like hearing it again and doing it again. So yeah, man, don't be afraid to go back.
It's okay to look back.
Fuck yeah, dude. Tucker, seriously, man, thank you so fucking much for being on the show this week. It has been awesome. I appreciate you, doing the show, doing the Ice Owl recordings, and just being an all around fucking top notch dude.
That's right.
Being a true dude to you and the metal community, and driving a fucking sweet Toyota pickup truck.
I just as far as the studio goes, man, I want to try to help as many people get their tunes out there.
Right.
I really do. I know that having a good sounding release is the first step into, you know, maybe getting label attention and maybe getting on more gigs. I mean, I want everyone to get out there. I want everybody who comes and records down here to spread out and just contaminate everything around them.
Definitely. I 100% agree with that, and that's great. Dude, on our way out today, what do you want to play from Throne of Iron?
Oh, hell. You know what? I'm going to go with the one that seems to go over the best every time we play it, and let's do Crypt of Blades.
All right, you heard him. This is Crypt of Blades. Yeah. Get ready for a night of face-melting metal, Friday, November 10th at the Odd in West Asheville. It is the return of the annual Steel and Stone Fest, featuring the only performance of the year from the North Carolina power metal legends, Twisted Tower Dire. The rest of the lineup includes metal bands from Asheville and surrounding areas. Children of the Reptile, Oblivion Throne, Overload, Temptation's Wings, and All Hell. $12 in advance, $15 at the door. First 50 people get a free comp CD. Doors are at 4, the music is at 7. For advance tickets, go to steelandstonefest.com. Be there. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soulgrinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code MetalForge10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Sit back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code MetalForge10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now. Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana is the premier 12,500 square foot music superstore that has served both southern Indiana and Louisville, Kentucky metro area for over 4 decades. Originally founded by Marvin and Beverly Maxwell in the 70s, this gym remains a Maxwell family-owned business. Mark Maxwell, along with his business partner Whitney McNichol, continued the reputation as being the national resource for all things music.
In 2022, the iconic Guitar Emporium of Louisville relocated to Maxwell's Music, creating the largest independently owned showroom in the region. The retail offerings at Maxwell's Music includes a huge selection of guitars, basses, amplifiers, effects pedals, modeling amps, keyboards, drums, banjos, mandolins, ukuleles, sound systems, stage lighting equipment, and accessories. The music education program at Maxwell's is second to none. From private instrument and voice lessons to DJ, EDM, recording, songwriting, and music theory, to rock school, weekend warriors, and Maxwell's Music Lab, there is something for every age and every ability level.
Down in Repairland, guitar and instrument repairs and refurbishment are taken care of by the Maxwell's team of expert guitar technicians and luthiers. They also do appraisals of instruments as well. Maxwell's offers installations for professional audio, visual, and lighting systems for schools, churches, clubs, VFWs, funeral homes, sports fields, and so much more. There's also rentable space at Maxwell's, from the music practice and rehearsal rooms for the individuals and bands, all the way to a meeting space and concert venue that seats up to 120. That also includes a professional audio, visual, and lighting system and a sound booth. Maxwell's has it all. All this plus an original functioning 1947 recording booth to make your own record. Go to the Guitar Hero throne, to the very own Elvis statue, and don't forget the Harmony Green Pocket Park. There's a reason the Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana has been recognized by the National Association of Music Merchants as a #1 award-winning best store design, as well as top 100 music store year after year. You gotta see it to believe it. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana.